let's play a game. And this game is, guess who just woke up 25 minutes ago when, in order to be at the pyramid on time, not even early, should have got up an hour and 15 minutes ago. Thankfully, I had some stuff at the cleaners that I could just throw on. This was a hectic morning, my God. And let me tell you, I knew something was off when I got too much sleep. So let me give you a little peek into my morning routine. Ordinarily, I have 2 alarms set. I have one that is much earlier than I need to be up, so that if I gotta, do something, like I had a podcast that I recorded and edited earlier this week. And sometimes if I do that and it's late at night, I do as much as I can, and then the final touches, like adding the thumbnail, adding the cover art, putting in the keywords and all that, I'll save that because that's so like second nature. And I'll set the alarm, get up, do that, get back in bed, because I'll have like about a good heavy hour before I actually have to move around. And then, about a good 30, 40 minutes before I have to get around, so that when that second alarm goes off, I can hit snooze one time and I will still be able to get up, move around, get my stuff together, and be on time for the pyramid. I don't know what the hell was going on with me this morning, but baby. And I remember specifically the night before setting my alarm, because they only change depending on whatever. This is inside baseball, but I know when I was laying there and my soul was rested and I was just sleeping too, God said, no, something is wrong. So whatever.
It's like a tattoo. I'll always have you. My inhibitions fade away.
King said, hey, I'm 𝘾𝙤𝙡𝓚𝓚, I am the love story architect. I write stories about black folks in various situations, and right now I am in my contemporary love story bag. My debut novel, Loving Ashley, has been out since June 13th. And it is on the Amazon and on the KU. So if you are in KU, please go ahead and give it a read, give it a review, and all that good stuff. Now, this car chat is just off the dome because I am running the frick late. So let's move into Belly and let's move into the Loverboy series as a whole. So at this time, the only book that is out is Loving Ashley. My plans are to do I don't know if it's called a special edition or if it's a re-release or whatever, but I will be releasing Loving Ashley, a different version. I'll just update those files and, well, I don't know. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But because I don't think all negative reviews are negative. I do think you should be able to learn from some of the critique. And even if you don't, quote unquote, learn from it, you should at least not go into it with a deaf ear. Remember, I mentioned that review that was just tore me to shreds. But even though that's what the person did, I still read that review and I'm finding some gems in it. It may not be things that I agree with. It may be some things I think they got 100% wrong, but I do feel like, and this is just me now, I don't know what I'm going to be like, 1,000 reviews from now and several books later, but right now I feel like there's something to be said for someone who had an emotional reaction to your artwork, and even though it was negative, gave you their peace of mind. Especially because I put this book out for consumption. So that being said, I also have been looking into the critiques, and I've been looking into the reviews that I've seen already. Because remember, some time ago I said I'm not going to look for any more reviews. No, if I'm not tagged in them, I'm not hunting for them. And so one thing that I am missing is an epilogue. But for me, my mindset was, I know that I'm building this shared world. The epilogue for me would have spoiled some things that come up in another book that I planned. And so I think I figured out a way to include an epilogue in Loving Ashley. It may hint at something, but it doesn't give it away fully. And so I can still go forward with that other book. That being said, there are the 3 books in the Loverboy series. And then, okay, what are we doing? There's 3 books in the Loverboy series. It's Ashley, Belly, and Sin. With Ashley, there is a book that bridges book 1 and 2, Ashley and Belly's. But it is technically, the way I have it set up in my notes and my outline, it's something that you can actually read without having read either of them. Like I would prefer you read it after Loving Ashley, but you can read this book without having ever read Loving Ashley, and still make sense of what's going on, the characters and all of that. Get over. So then there's also, I mentioned like 2 or 3 other book series that I have in the works, and I'm praying that this isn't to my detriment. Again, I'm going to use the MCU, Marvel Comics universe, Marvel Cinematic Universe, as a because that is my homegrown blurred nerd beginnings. So think of it this way: Loving Ashley is Iron Man. And then in Iron Man, what came next? It wasn't, fuck this analogy. If you know what the MCU is, you know what I'm getting at. So I have the shared universe, and I'm really big on continuity and just things lining up and things being chronological, being able to track different things. And so I have the 3 main books, and I have this book that bridges them, and then I have a different series that is not directly linked to the Loverboy series, because my goal with 𝘾𝙤𝙡𝙚𝙚, the city, the fictional city that was created, was to be able to tell so many different types of stories in that city, where you do get the Loverboy series, the romance and the melodrama, but you also have this gritty, for lack of a better word, gritty other side of the city, like you do with any city. Every city has its bad parts, has its great parts, has its gentrified part. Every city has those elements, but I want to be able to tell stories in this city and have it feel realistic still. And so you have the Loverboy series, which is kind of that surface level. I'm visiting Atlanta, I'm visiting DC, I'm visiting Dallas, and these are all the fun things I get to do and see, and I hang out with my friends. And then you have that other part where the stories could have a little bit of romance in them, but they're also those kind of, I'll just say, twisted, fucked up run-ins, where there may definitely be some romance, but there may definitely be some you got a mouse tool in your throat, and you better figure out how to make sure these people don't get rid of you and your family type shit. So, but what I'm saying is that I'm trying to lay it out in a way where if you read those stories, you can read them on your own, you can enjoy the city, but you may, and this part right here is not written in stone, but let's just say you might see Misha go to the store at night, and then he run into, I don't know, Jimmy John, who was in that other series, and Jimmy John just got done murdering somebody, and so they both at the same store, I don't know, picking up baby wipes. So that's my goal. So with the Loverboy series, you're getting that romance, you're getting that slice of life, everyday, contemporary, let's be beautiful black people in love. But then you also have other series that will exist within the city that will cross over a bit, because I fucking love that. I think we as humans, we all love that. Back in the day in the 90s when you had doing crossover episodes, or you had your favorite, even though this isn't a crossover, but some of your favorite musical artists popping up on Moesha or on Smart Guy. Shout out to Disney Child. And, you know, shit like that. I think we love that. And being able to, for me, it's like a little bit of like a thank you or a payoff for those people who are into that thing heavy, who read the books and like, oh, I knew that name sound familiar, or oh, that description, I know I read about a very, very dark-skinned man who had one blue eye and one golden eye in this romance book, and now he's in this, you know. So it's just, I don't know. I know that it matters to someone. It may not matter to all, because it matters to me. So I know there's other people like me out there who are like, yeah, I love this shit. And so that has been my focus. And I think Loving Ashley, having been done in those 4 months, and now it's out. And now, even though I'm going to do a little bit of rebranding, revamp with it, I think that was that like Nexus book that now is going to allow me to really do the thing that I've always wanted to do, especially with film. And this means it's going to take, some books are going to take just a little bit longer, because spoiler alert, but not really, there's a part of a scene that happens in the book that bridges book 1 and book 2 that also happens in Belly's book. Like that actual, I'd say if it was acted out live action, it may be like 3 minutes worth of screen time. It happens in that second book, and it happens in Belly's book. So you, again, if you're reading things in order, or even if you just read one and then don't know the other one is connected, you read that, you're like, oh, I've seen this thing happen before. I've heard that conversation, and it's directly tied to. So that's why it's taking me just a little bit longer, because I'm doing two things. Like I have Belly's book plotted out and planned, and I'm still kind of filling in the gaps and whatnot. And then I'm also doing the same thing for that second book that falls between them. And I just want to make sure that like the timelines match up. And so I'm not going to blame it on that, but I know that it's taking a little bit longer to get both done. So yeah, that's what it is with the Loverboy series. That's your introduction to this city, to this world. Those of you who've been around for a while, remember I did say that there's that political thriller series, and maybe 2 books and maybe 3 that I wanted to write, but I just didn't want one for that to be my introduction as a new author, and for people to think, oh, you're going to get political thriller from me, because that is not the case. I'm writing a bunch of stuff, but political thriller is not the one. And then 2, I didn't want for I wanted to log more writing hours, because I do feel confident in my ability to write that story, but I was always like, let me flesh out the city in these romance novels, in these maybe grittier urban novels. Let me flesh out the city there, so that when I do the political thriller book, a lot of the locations would have been things that you've already seen. Oh, I remember that coffee house. Oh, I remember that building downtown. Oh, I remember this and that. So when you do get into the campaigning and the different stops that people go through while they're looking to become mayor or whatever, it'll all be familiar with you. Hell, even the college, because I do feel like in this first book, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, those of you who've read it, I feel like with the college, even if you don't understand physically how it's made up and what the campus looks like, I feel like you understand that is an important and big part of that city. Like, you know, if you were to hear that name again, Legas University A&T, in a different book, you would understand, because these 3 motherfuckers was on campus, I don't know, every like 12 chapters in that book. So yeah, that's that. I don't know. So this is Car Conversations, Car Chat, whatever I named it, it'll be up there. And oh, what a time. So thank you so much for y'all for watching this far. If you've gotten this far and you have, you think this is a good idea, this MCU-esque story world that I'm building, leave me a globe emoji or a world emoji. Also, Loving Ashley, I'm going to promote that till I'm blue in the face. Loving Ashley is available in KU. It's available on Amazon. Ultimately, it will be available on my site. I'm getting that together, y'all. I'm a one-man band, man. Work with me. I write stories about black folks in various situations. Right now, I'm in my contemporary love story bag. And going forward, as a kind of asterisk, I will be writing romance, but I will be getting back to my original idea of love stories. That's why I say I'm the love story architect. There was a video by one of my mutuals on TikTok that was posted where she kind of went into the specifics, like every romance is a love story, but every love story is not a romance, and that is okay. And if I can remember, I will add that video to the end of this one, because it perfectly encapsulates what my thoughts were on the books that I was trying to write when I got back into publishing. It was like, let me do this for real. All of my stories will not have a happily ever after, and that's not to say they're going to crash and burn, but love story architect honestly is a term that I hope can stay in the back of a lot of people's minds when they think about my work, because I know that every story will not be a happily ever after or a happily for now. But I think there is a way to document that when marketing and in the book itself, so that I'm not giving people the idea that maybe this one particular book is going to be romance when it's not. So like those darker, grittier stories, I may, oh, girl, what are you doing? All right. I may, and then what are you doing? Jesus Christ. I may I'm very clear when I say this is a love story. So whatever. Well, that'll be a video for another day. But thank you guys for watching. Much love. This has been a great FaceTime call with my friends. So y'all go back, read something, write something, and come back and tell me. Rain. All right.